man.
Hello, how are you?
How you doing? I'm
Doing
fine,
well.
and you?
Everything is good. Lots of guitars there.
Yeah. This is my collection. There are more here that you don't see, and yeah, it's my little creation studio here.
How many guitars do you have?
I think it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But there are four basses,
Okay,
so it's quite some guitars.
very good. You like to write? Do you write all the stuff there in that small studio?
Yeah. This is where the magic happens. I mean, I have to say that some songs we happen to write on while on tour. So some stuff was written even on the tour bus, for instance. But this is where normally the magic happens.
Are you guys able when you're on tour to have the creativity to write a song or an idea?
In my case, it's not like I choose. Sometimes I'm walking, sometimes I'm showering, and the idea comes. And when this happens, I feel an urge to write, to put it down. So it can happen on the road, it can happen at dinner, it can happen everywhere. It's not like as I said, it's not a choice.
Yeah, I can imagine you having dinner all of a sudden say, just shut up, I have an idea now. I'm going to and start talking to the phone or something like that. It's kind of,
Cool. Yeah.
it can be, I don't know. But did you ever had like, you wake up or you had an idea for a melody and when you were going to write it down, you forgot about it? Did that ever happen?
Not really, because I tend to record, like to mimic the ideas on the phone immediately. And it truly never happened that I didn't have the phone with me. Like we live in a world in which you have your smartphone with you all the time. So it never really happened that I forgot about it. I maybe in the past, but I can't recall this. Maybe
Yeah.
when I was a kid and cell phones couldn't record vocal memos.
I remember I'm from the time when we had those big tape recorder things. And, when I was watching something on TV, I would just put the tape recorder near the speaker of the TV to record whatever song or whatever it was. It was, good times.
You had to be more creative, I think. Somehow you had to be smart and creative and find solutions.
Yeah.
Now all solutions are a bit more accessible. And this is not always a good thing, because sometimes it makes your brain a bit lazy,
Yeah.
because you are so used to have everything done. Like I remember that the first compilations I was doing, I was like recording with a tape, listening from the radio. And when a song began, I had to be quick not to lose the first seconds,
Yeah.
because otherwise you would have the song starting after 2 or 3 seconds because I'm late.
Yeah.
So, and these were the first compilations to listen, songs in with a Walkman back
Yeah.
then, on the beach or on holiday, or after school, stuff like this. So we definitely grew up in a world that put you into challenges.
Yeah. I remember, this is weird. I remember having those, headphones, but it was like steel, whatever it was. And, Portugal, like Italy or like, most European countries, we get a lot of sun. And I remember almost burning my freaking head because of that. It was, really, we would suffer a bit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And, speaking of Pirates to Armada, that's the new Visions of Atlantis record. When did you guys actually start working on the songs for the album?
So the thing is that it's not like we enter the studio, we stay there 1 month, and we record the record, or we write the demos of the record in that month. As I was telling you, inspiration can come at every moment. So I believe that the first song of Pirates 2, we started to write 1 or 2 months after Pirates was recorded. It was not even, mixed and mastered. It was just finished to be recorded. And the last one, I remember I wrote on tour with Delane in September, on the road, like on tour. I remember I asked for the guitar from Dushi, our guitar player, and the bass from Herbert, and I put down the demo over there while on the road before a show. So it's a long process in a way, but it's also short, because in the end it's 4 or 5 hours one day, 6 hours another day. So it doesn't really wait. It's not like, as I said, we enter the studio and we stay there for hours and hours and hours consecutively.
Yeah. That's that's cool. It's still a long process, but what was the first song? That one that you wrote after the first Pirates record was out. Do you remember which?
But the first one. Yes, I think the very, very, very first one was Monsters, the actual single. Okay. For the latest single that we released while we're doing this interview. And in the end, we for some reasons that I cannot really tell right now, like it sounds more secret than it is, but yeah, it's just better not to say. But we needed a song within with certain standards. We needed, let's say, a radio friendly song, and this is why Monster came out as it is right now. It's a pretty direct song with verse, chorus, solo, chorus. It was required to be in a certain way, and luckily enough, I had some ideas that I pre-recorded and that fit the request.
Yeah.
So shortly after the recordings of Pirates, we started immediately working on the new record. And since we were requested to write something in that direction, yeah, I just thought, okay, let's start with this and let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
And it went up pretty well, I think.
Is it? I know, there was a study that, like Spotify, whatever it was, or those streaming platforms, that people, if like a chorus or the singing doesn't start after a certain amount of seconds, people switch off. You guys are aware of that study or those studies, and does that worries you when you're writing, or you really don't pay attention to that?
No, we know about it, and there are some rules that are to be respected for certain things. But I also believe that you cannot really write a formula, to write music. It's not like it's mathematics, and the Pythagorean theorem will always be true. Music, it can't work this way, because it's about emotion. It's about something that either it clicks or it doesn't click. But of course, there are some requests sometimes that needs to be respected, and what you normally do is to adjust what you created towards that this is a different thing. Like if a song needs to have the vocals that starts after 15 seconds and the chorus that starts within the first minute, because this is what radio wants, then you can make a radio edit version that is different from what you originally composed, but you can offer to the radio so that the standard is respected. Because the problem, and this is no secret, is that if you don't respect the standards, then radio might tell you, you know what, then we don't broadcast the song, and this is not good for the band. So there is always this balance to be found between creativity and the famous market, because market has rules, and either you accept the rules or you might be condemned not to be part of the market. And at the very end of the day, if you are a professional band, you want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't play the real game. So it's complicated. It's not always happy. This is going really into a technical discussion, but you have to, it's as if you want to be a soccer player and you don't want to train.
Yeah.
Training is part of the game. No matter how good you are, you have to respect the trainer and what he wants to tell you. Yeah. And if you don't like it, you can maybe go your own way or be the trainer yourself, but maybe you won't play in the professional soccer forever.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean, right?
You need, even though like having to study like the tactics can be boring, but it's part of the game. And, you have to know them. Otherwise, you'll be left behind. And, when it comes to Visions of Atlantis, obviously the pirate concept, you guys established that on the previous record. Is it easier with a concept in mind, so to say, to write songs, or it becomes a bit more difficult?
This is also, like a good song is a good song. It doesn't matter if it's within the pirate universe or within the trolls universe or within, like the war universe, like Sabaton or boards, like Windrose. A good song is a good song. Then the style, in my opinion, comes afterwards when you choose the arrangements. Because if you want to write a pirate song, then you will have big horns and you will have, the orchestras, and you will have lyrics that takes you into a journey across the seven seas. But the same melody, if played with, I don't know, a ukulele and and acoustic guitars, could be, an Hawaiian song, So it's not like there is a real boundary. It's more of a choice that we made. And the choice that we made about this entire pirate universe is because we believe that storytelling, especially in 2024, it's necessary. Yeah. Because we are so attached to the real world, so connected to the real universe, that as artists, we need to say, hey, stop for a second. Forget about who you are. Forget about your job. Forget about, your duties in the real life. Come in an adventure with us for an hour that the record is long, or an hour and a half of concert. Become a pirate. Sail actually free in a completely different universe. Come on board with us. You have an experience, you have a journey with us, you have an adventure with us. And then after that, you go back to your life, you go back to your issues, you go back to your troubles. But for this hour and a half, be a free spirit, be a free man, be an adventurer, because this is what a pirate is. Yeah. And this is why we chose to be pirates, because we want to have free spirits with us that are ready to get into an adventure, and for at least that little time that is the record or the concert, you can truly be someone else. Yeah. And then you will get back to your life and do whatever you want. Yeah. This is why storytelling is important, in my opinion.
Yeah. And, this record, it sounds more cinematic, more symphonic, but I think cinematic is quite the good word to describe it. How is it to work, with that in mind as well? Because, one thing is to write a song on an acoustic guitar. Another thing is when you have to put an orchestral arrangement. That takes time. It needs professionals to do it. I mean,
yeah, that's for sure.
You can sample it with keyboards and stuff, but it's not the same as having a conductor to kind of write, all that stuff. How is that side of Vision of Atlantis to put the rest of the picture in the song?
To be honest, it's not that difficult, but now we are doing it since quite a while. So it's more getting there, like there is a lot of years arranging the orchestral stuff and working with the orchestral concept. Personally, I was a fan of symphonic metal since I started basically to write music. One of my very first love was Camelot, which are, super symphonic, like they are amongst those bands together with Nightwish that defined what symphonic metal is, in my opinion. And when I started to write with my very first band, I started with a couple lines of strings. Then it was more. Then I added, like the cello, and, then there was, there is also the horns. Okay, there is also the tuba. Okay, there is also this and this and this. And at a certain point, I remember that I wanted all the songs to be listenable standalone with the orchestra only. And still, nowadays, I am only writing the skeleton, because I believe that I'm not good enough in composing the full orchestra line. And we give this to Lucas Knobel, that is the guy that arranges the orchestra for Visions of Atlantis. And he is specialized in this. He does this. This is his job. Yeah. He does orchestras for cinema and for video games. So despite my years writing orchestral music, I still don't believe I'm where he is, and I probably will never be, because he's amazing. He's a mastermind in this. But to answer the question, it's great to have this universe, because we are basically a cinematic band, as you said. We take the listener to to the movies when we play our music, and we picture our music with visual images, and having this entire soundtrack feeling, as if you are listening to the soundtrack of a movie, makes it so easier to make everything consistent. The lyrics are the book of the movie. The music is the soundtrack of the movie, and the videos that we release are the actual movie. So we have this vision of Atlantis. We have this vision in mind, and we just make it happen. It's a team. Clemmy writes the lyrics, I write the music, and she also writes the script for the videos that then the video maker put into reality. But this comes from the band. It's our ideas that are immediately coming out with a big image. So it makes it easier, because the music serves the visual that we have in mind, and the lyrics are the way that we use to tell the story, that Clemmy used to tell her stories. So it's not too difficult, because we truly are into it.
Yeah. And, listening to the record, you were talking about melodies, the importance of melodies. And one of the songs, the album is great. One of the songs that caught my attention that I think it will work well live is Magic of the Night.
Fantastic.
That melody, from the beginning, and then the chorus and everything. I was listening to the song, and I was seeing people with their hands in the air and just going along with the song. I think it's one of those that if you play live, I'm not sure the set list, you probably don't know yet.
We will play live. We will play it live. I can tell you already. This is one of the songs that we already chose for the live set.
There you go. I think it's perfect.
It's great. It's great to hear. And I'm laughing. I was laughing when you mentioned it, because this is not the first interview, of course, and you're not the first to mention this song. So it gives a positive vibe, it gives a positive feeling to have some songs that are recurrent, like a lot of interviewers, a lot of magazines are mentioning Tonight I'm Alive. Of course, Armada is one of the most mentioned, but being the video out, I think this is somehow, taken by the fact that it's one of the singles. It's inevitable that you put more attention in the song that it's already released. Same with Monsters. But Magic of the Night is coming back quite often and gives us positive vibes on the fact that we chose it. And I believe this is a really positive song in terms of emotion. It brings you a smile. When you listen to it, there is this positive energy flowing, and I believe this will work too. Yes.
Yeah. And, on the opposite end, I'm not saying that it's a bad one, but that's the ballad on the record, Underwater. It's a more sinister kind of a lyric, a bit more sad song. That it's kind of a contrast of, Magic of the Night. And I think it's I think the way it's positioned on the record, it's cool, because, it kind of, you go on this journey throughout the record, and all of a sudden, close to the end, kind of brings you down. And then with the last one, you just
right. I again, it's great to hear this feedback, because it reflects what we had in mind. So if this arrives in a way, it means that it was that the message arrived. And this is of course something that is absolutely fantastic. There are several emotions that are going on song by song. Each song carry its own vibe. And I believe that as much as Magic of the Night is the one that makes you smile, then you have The Dead of the Sea, for instance, that gives some terror, in my opinion. It makes you fear what's going on. There is this tense, anxious feeling that is going on. Then you have Tonight I'm Alive, that makes you dance, make you release all the happiness that you have inside and let out all the emotions. You have Armada, which brings pride. It makes you feel proud of who you are and makes you fight against everything because you are strong. This is what Armada wants to tell you. And as you said, then there is Underwater. It's an introspective song. It makes you question yourself. It brings this sinister vibe because it makes you doubt about yourself, I would say. It makes you see what I mean? Then I want to mention Ashes to the Sea, which is a song who is about, loss. It's about losing people, losing someone that you love. And this is a bitter, bitter, bitter feeling that it's hard to face. So every song has its own universe, has its own emotion, and if this passes through with the messages that are hidden, that are said in the lyrics, this is great.
Yeah, Ashes of the Sea. It's actually another one that I had mentioned here as well, which it's one of my favorites on the album as well. So yeah, I think it's a great journey, and I think you guys are mastering the way of capturing emotions throughout the record, which I think is very important. When you make music, I think it has nothing to do with the subject, but there was like a crazy mania about Taylor Swift playing here in Portugal for 2 nights, and I just went on Apple Music and listened to the playlist of Taylor Swift, and there was nothing there for me. Songs are good, are well constructed, great pop songs, but I think it was generic. It didn't.
I see what you mean.
I'm not criticizing, not saying that it's bad. I see some people going nuts about it, but I was listening. The live show was fantastic. The stage is insane, but the music was very generic.
But the thing is that not every artist is for everyone. That's a thing that as an artist myself, I have accepted. For instance, I'm not a big black metal fan. I like some bands, but I'm not a big black metal fan because I don't find a connection with the style. But I know a lot of people that are so much into it and that they feel true and real emotion listening to black metal. I think it's really personal, but emotion lies in connection. When there is a connection towards what you're listening to, because there is something in the words, in the music, in the melodies, in the arrangements that clicks and triggers a connection between you, your life, and what you're listening to, then this works. If it doesn't work with you and Taylor Swift, it doesn't mean that Taylor Swift doesn't have this potential connection with someone else. It's because you find the connection in something else, and this is beautiful because this is what music is about. Otherwise, every artist would do the same music, because if that was the only way to create a connection with a fan, then everyone would sound like Visions or as Taylor Swift or as Iron Maiden. That's the beauty of music, that every band has its own way of expressing things. Some work, some just don't work. Some work for some, and some just doesn't work for others. So that's the beauty of music to me.
Yeah. And with the new album comes a new tour. You guys are going on the road in October. You're playing Portugal again. You're bringing Illumid Shade with you guys. For those who haven't watched Visions of Atlantis live yet, shame on them. But for those who haven't, what will we expect from the upcoming tour? Music-wise, stage-wise, you're going to play a lot of new songs?
So first of all, I want to say that this is not going to be just a concert, but it's going to be a show. We are even promoting it not as a tour, but as a cinematic live experience. This is the form of expression that we chose, because we are going to do something that goes a bit beyond just 5 musicians playing on stage. We are bringing a big stage prop. This was spoiled already at the last festival at Metal Fest, and we're going to take it throughout all summer. But if you follow the live shows, you will see that there is a big ship, a deck of a ship that we are taking on stage with the barrels and everything, because we want to really take the listener somewhere else on board our ship, and we want to sail together. visually, musically, and on every possible level. So there will be a lot going on stage. And this is the first thing that it's important to say. Of course, this will be a tour that will promote the new record, Pirates 2 Armada. So you can expect quite some songs from the new album, but of course it's not going to be only the new album. We will try to balance the set list amongst what we have done in the last 4 years with the new lineup. We want to say goodbye, basically, to what we have done before, because it was not us. I say what we have done before, but Visions of Atlantis are Clemmy, I, Thomas, Dushi, and Herbert. Right now, it's 6 years, 7 now, that this band is this lineup, and we truly believe in what we are doing. So I don't think that it would be even respectful to keep on playing songs that are written by other musicians, sang and performed in the records by other musicians. So we will probably stop playing whatever happened before The Deep and the Dark. And from The Deep and the Dark on, this is Visions of Atlantis nowadays. It's a band that's reborn in 2018. So mainly Pirates 2, of course, a lot of Pirates, and then stuff from Wanderers and The Deep and the Dark. The rest is not our music. We don't think it's respectful to keep on playing that now that we have 4 records of ours with our own songs. That's the only thing that it's important to say, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's I think it's perfect. It's a great plan. And to be honest, the last few records have been the best anyway. So yeah.
I think it's a matter of emotion and connection. Yeah. It's our music, like the last records are the ones that are played by this band, and it's the first time, and it's not going to change, that this band has found stability.
Yeah.
Potentially in 2018, the band was to be started from the scratch. Yeah. Of course, there are 100,000 reasons why this was not done, but in 2018, Visions of Atlantis, as you know them nowadays, are born. Whatever was before, yes, was under the name Visions of Atlantis. Probably it was Visions of Atlantis for the way they were meant to be at the beginning, but it's not what this band is now. So I'm happy to carry a legacy, but we are who we are. And it's important to stick to who we are.
Yeah, no, I was saying that because, I think, songwriting wise, production wise, everything sounds a lot better now. Anyway, I'm not no disrespect to anything that was done before. I'm just saying that you guys are really in the peak of creativity and songwriting, which, every musicians go through that phase. So it's fine.
Absolutely. And I hope it continues. All
right, Michele, thank you very much for your time. All the best. I'll see you in Lisbon when you guys come back. So
absolutely. We see each other at our RCA club, right?
All right. Exactly. So... Yes. Thank you very much for your time. And I'll see you in Lisbon. All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Obrigado. Obrigado. Opa.